Hi there, this is a video on polynomials and we're looking at subtraction this time. My brain says there's a whole lot of negative signs kicking around, so I'm going to pay a little extra attention compared to what I might do otherwise. So we're going to start with monomials, right? So one term here, one term here. That's what monomials mean. So 5y minus 9y is negative 4y. If you have, if you lost the negative sign there, you probably should go find something on subtraction of integers because order matters when you subtract. Make sure if you're using your calculator, just go 5 minus 9 and you get the minus 4 right away. Easy peasy. All right, 8z minus 5z, that's going to give me 3z. And here, just to make sure you're good with your signs, 5 minus 8 is going to give me minus 3z. Think of this as having $5 and you spent $8, you are short $3. Whereas this is, I have 8, I spent 5, I'm still good, I have some left. All right, here we've got a double negative. There's a bunch of ways to deal with that. One of them is simply to rewrite the question. So a negative, so I'm going to add the opposite. Sorry, my brain just disappeared there for a minute. But basically, when you're subtracting a negative, it just turns into a positive. So we've got, now we have to be careful because it's 7 minus 7 plus 21. So it's an addition question. One's a plus, one's a minus, so I'm going to subtract and take the sign of the bigger. I'm going to put the plus in there. It's not remotely required, but it's there if you need it. Now we've got minus 11x squared, subtract minus 11x squared. Now my brain says right away, if I'm subtracting the exact same thing, I should get 0, but I want to prove it. Minus 11x squared, going to change that to add, going to change this to the opposite. And now I've got minus 11 plus 11, so yeah, 0. If you want 0x squared, that's fine. That part's not particularly required. Minus 3x squared minus x squared. Now, there are students out there that'll just write minus 3 because we took away the x squared. No, 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 no. Remember, there's an understood 1 in there. So this is actually minus 3 minus 1 more is minus 4x squared. Oh, I should mention for this, you also, if you very carefully put it in your calculator, you're going to get the same answer. But use your head. Learn these rules. That way, if you accidentally put it in your calculator wrong, you'll be able to catch it because you know what the answer should look like. So 5x squared y3, change my subtraction, goes to a plus. My negative goes to a plus 20x squared y3. So now look, they're both positive. We're putting them together, so we're going to get 25x squared y3. And ta-da! Look at that one. What's the answer? Did I catch you? The answer is 6y minus 12x. Because this is a y, and that's an x, and those are not like terms, so you can't put them together. So you just recopy the question. If you're, what's the word? Comfortable with writing can combine, if that's what you learned in the past, that's fine. I just rewrite the question. 12y minus 6y minus 4y. I'm going to do this in 2 steps, or you can do it all at once, but yeah, it's a good idea to practice bed math. So order of operations, 12y minus 6y is 6y minus 4y. 6y minus 4y is 2y. And there we go. There's all the answers. Don't have to circle them, but you know, it makes life easy when you're looking at the questions later, and if it's a hand-in for your instructor, keep your instructors happy. Make their lives easier when you can. All right, so from addition, if there is nothing or just a plain old plus in front of the brackets, then you can just drop them. I talked about that in the video about addition. It's basically just an organizational tool. But if there's a negative in front of the set of brackets, then you change the sign. Signs of everything in brackets. This is one of the places where a lot of people make mistakes. So key here is everything, and I'll show you how to when and how kind of to double check. And my answer here is I've always found it's best practice just to rewrite your equation. Rewrite the question. You're not going to make mistakes. And also, if you're trying to explain it to somebody or someone's looking at your work, it's much easier to follow through. So let's look at these examples down here. So in front of this is nothing. So I can just drop my brackets, 5x minus 12. Now, you're going to change the signs and everything in the bracket. Essentially what you're doing, easiest way I can explain it, is you got a -1 out front, and you're going to distribute that through the brackets. So -1 times positive 2x is minus 2x. And -1 times plus 5 is minus 5. Now, this is the point where I stop and double check. And all I want to do is make sure that these two, so this was a plus, it's now a negative, this is a plus, it's now a negative, right? Because that's where the mistakes happen. People forget to change the signs, or they'll change the sign just on the 2, and then they'll just bring the 5 down. Change them both. Take that half a second to make sure your signs are different. I mean, it's obvious here, but when you start to get some of these longer ones, it becomes an issue. And then we can just combine like terms. So we've got 5x and -2x, that's 3x. And we've got minus 12 and minus 5. Okay, so we're adding. We're just thinking of these as separate terms, right? So then you use the rules for adding. So a negative and a negative, when you add them together, becomes more negative. Blue bingo chips, lots of blue bingo chips. If you don't know what that's about, watch my video on integers, and you will be surprised at how easy this is to remember. Anyway, there's my little plug and my little rant. There we go. With these, remember, they don't always have to go down to just one thing, right? You don't somehow magically have to combine the 3 and the 17. They're not like terms, so you're done. All right, same thing here. 2z plus 6, and then I'm going to distribute, and I'm going to bother writing the 1, because really it just made it messy looking up there. And distribute again, minus, whoops, I lost a z, minus 5. Now we got 2z minus 4z, it's going to be minus 2z. Then I've got plus 6 minus 5. So signs are different. I'm going to subtract. 6 minus 5 is 1, and it's plus 1. And there we go. Make that look like a z, not a 7. There, much better. All right, 3x minus 6. Going to distribute, minus 2x. Now watch this, when I distribute, that one becomes a plus 6. So quick check, this was a negative. This is the opposite. This is the opposite. So I figured that when I distribute, that one gets ignored. It disappears, however you want to think of it. But I just look at that much. And I need to see that this was a plus, now it's a negative. This was a negative, now it's a plus. Now I combine 3x, negative 2x is going to give me x. Again, if you want to put the 1, good, enjoy. If you don't, I don't care. And actually, negative 6 plus 6. Now, that would be a perfectly correct answer. So just plain old x. Right? It's up to you how much you want to write. As simple as that. Okay, here we go. Oh, wait a minute. If you haven't turned off the video, you should. You've got this. Turn off the video. Do these last three if you haven't done them already. Okay, can I trust you? All right, I'm going to get a little card that says stop video now. So we got 4y squared minus 2y, distribute, minus 3y squared minus 4y. All right, y squared, another y squared, so it's going to be y squared. And negative 2 and negative 4 is negative 6y, because we're adding like that. We're simplifying or combining like terms. Oh, look at that, we got 3 terms here. So 1, 2, 3. So this is a trinomial, subtract another trinomial. But the neat part is it doesn't matter whether you're going like 2 terms or 3 terms and 3 terms, or ooh, look, 3 and 2. It could be 6 and 6 terms. The process is still the same. I promise you I will never do 6 terms and 6 terms because that's just too much work. You have my word. 4x squared minus 5x plus 7. Now, careful. He's a little small right there, but there is a negative. So a negative, so we distribute. So this is going to become a plus 3x squared. And then this one becomes minus 6x. And distribute the third time, plus 12. So again, I'm going to do this, my fat little finger there, make sure that this has the opposite sign, this has the opposite sign, and that has the opposite sign. So I've distributed, and I've done it correctly because I know the signs are all different. Now I just combine my like terms. 4x squared and 3x squared. Oof, I wrote that weird. There we go. 7x squared minus 5x minus 6x is minus 11x, and plus 7 and plus 12 is plus 19. All right, oops, there's my answer. Make it easy for you guys to see the answers too. All right, last one, 6r squared minus 12r plus 6, and distribute minus r squared minus 8. So 6r squared minus r squared is going to be 5r squared. Now, check this out. There's 12r here, but there's nothing over there. That's fine. Just bring them along. Sometimes that happens. And we got plus 6 and minus 8, which is going to give me minus 2. There we go. So, however you think about it, this part is really important. So whether you think of it as, I'm just going to change the signs because that's how you do it, or you think of it in terms as I showed you here. Oh goodness, that's so messy, you can hardly see. I'm putting in a -1 and multiplying through. It's all good. Either way, remember that and you will become a great mathematician. Heck, you're on your way.